Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Horror. This is a show where we discuss the horror movie of the week. And tonight we're discussing Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. I want to say a quick hello. We got a couple of people in the chat. Toy Mafia, nice to see you. And Papa Cotton, thanks for being here. Nice to see you. Tony, how's it going? He says, "Hi, I'm going to be Kane Hodder when I grow up." Well, that's good. I like that plan. Mr. Pump Noir, how's it going? Thank you for being here, everybody. And yeah, anybody that catches us on the replay, thank you as well. I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And we got a couple more people. RR, nice to see you. Jason has a Twitch. Yep. Solar Warden, good to see you as well. All right, and I want to thank my panel for being here. We got a couple more people that will be joining us, but for now, we've got Draven. Nice to see you. How's it going tonight?
It's going all right. I'm looking forward to talking about the movie, and I hope everybody's having a good night.
Yes, you as well. And ETEP, how's it going?
It is going fantastic. As I said, I watched Part 7 twice today. Although not my favorite entry into this series, which is admittedly Part 6. This one has some bright spots, some good kills, but the MPAA did its damage to it. But we'll talk about that more later on.
Yep.
Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you're here as well. And Tommy, how's it going tonight?
Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
All right, we'll throw it on over to Vinny Art. Nice to have you here. How's it going tonight?
Hey, what's the matter for you? I'm right here. It's me, Vinny Art. Have you checked that shadow of the Kraken? Hey!
I guess this still ain't working. Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, we can hear you. Well, I can.
I can hear you.
Internet is making me very, very angry.
Okay. Well, are you able to hear us?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, good.
I heard Tommy making fun of me just now.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Face like a big
It's
pizza
me,
pie.
Mario, and I like the Jason movies. Very good movies. This is going to be great. I like talking about the zombie. He's not a zombie. He's a revenant zombie. I don't know what the fuck he is. He's a handicapped kid who is on a killing rampage. I love it.
Tony, put him in the bathroom.
All right. Awesome to have you here, Vinny.
It's great to be here. I watched 6 and 7 back to back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I'm ready for this one.
Well, that's good because 7 follows right after 6. So yeah.
Jesus, 67. That's the wrong number, Vinny. I keep telling you, it's 69.
They're all on
7, 8,
Max
9.
too.
What?
They're all on Max too.
Yep.
Yeah.
To watch. So.
Yeah, anybody, if you have Max, if you want to see these movies, catch them because they I don't know how long they'll stay there. I know that they rotate their collections out often. But yeah, we have a comment for you, Tommy, from Tony.
I hate ranch. I despise it. I hate it almost as much as like horseradish and lima beans, Brussels sprouts. Blech.
Brussels sprouts. I hate lima beans though. Unless it's in succotash. If it's in succotash, I'm fine with lima beans.
I'll tell you what,
you suffer in succotash.
Yes. And I like ranch from a pizza.
Take a pizza and fill it up with candy corn, and I would eat that first.
Ew, fucking candy corn is disgusting.
Well,
I don't know. I'm starting to believe everyone's what they're saying about Tommy. Oh wait, wrong Tommy.
Well, RR says he's always liked 7, and I love that comment because I love 7 as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I agree. The telekinesis go provided some good action. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Definitely.
once again, though, I mean, when we talk about these movies, and I know ETEP's going to back me up on this one, some of these movies, they really do follow the continuity very, very well. So when you go from, 6 into 7 here, they follow the story how it ended. He's chained up at the bottom of the lake, and that's where we pick off with Jason when he gets resurrected by Tina. And then when you follow this one into 8, it's the same thing. It follows the same story. He's chained up again at the bottom of the lake, and it picks up where it left off, and it picks up with the same type of damage that he ends this movie with too. So how he looks at the end of this movie is how he starts off. Jason Takes Manhattan, only with a little bit more, like, I guess, waterlogged damage, like an old log at the bottom of the ocean.
Definitely soggy Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's one thing that Friday the 13th as a franchise has. Well, I wouldn't say one thing. It's one of the things that Friday the 13th as a franchise has over Halloween is the continuity much better. And there's no wondering like what storyline is this or anything like that. It's just one movie after the other. It's a nice straight line. Oh, hey, Soul Assassin, good to see you. And Soul Assassin says, isn't there an article Jason chained up at the bottom of a lake?
There's a statue they make of like him to put in like your like koi ponds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's him with his arms reaching up. That's freaking sweet. I need one of those.
That is cool.
Yep.
I almost had one of them, but something happened where they got back ordered or backlogged on all their orders because it was the one that almost looks like a lava lamp in the way it's made.
Yeah.
With him chained to the bottom with the lights coming up, and there's like little floaties or whatever to come up through it. Really cool looking piece, and I was going to get it for a steal, but they went out of stock, and I was like, "Son bitch!" And they didn't. I don't think that they were getting them back in again.
Yeah, I think I saw what you're talking about. It was like this glass tube type thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool looking. Oh God, RR, don't curse this stream. Do you see this, Tommy? If Jens was here, we could discuss how masculine the action was.
Jens wouldn't know what masculine was if it came up and ripped his gonads off.
Oh man.
It's fucking soy.
Oh God. Yeah, definitely. RR. He says the ending is cool. How she calls up her dad to chain him and drag him back down. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be getting into that.
Wait. So okay. So I don't want to jump ahead, but the whole dad thing. Oh my God. Like, I like the character. I like Tina's character, and I do like Lar Park Lincoln, and I like the fact that she went on to marry she became very successful in the House 2 universe as Tina, as she reinvented herself. But that's another video. Her summoning her oh, can we okay, we'll just can we go to the beginning of the movie so I can pick the boat scene apart?
Absolutely.
With young Tina when she rushes out of the
There you go. Trina, I did something special for you, and I gave you a new background.
I know. I noticed that. I love that. You'll have to tell me how you did it.
It's just a new added feature to StreamYard. You're allowed to put GIF or moving backgrounds up now.
Oh, that's cool. I like it. Thank you.
That is cool.
All right. Go ahead, Neetab.
The whole, well, I mean, first of all, her mom burned the pot roast. That's why her dad smacked her. And then little Tina runs out into the rowboat, rows out into the lake. I hate you, Dad. I wish you were dead. And then she kills him with her, telekinesis, and then is immediately regretful because she's a child and she just murdered her dad. And then even though knowing he was abusive and probably would have, if he wasn't already, physically abusing her, and I just mean like by, smacking around like he was the mom. Obviously we have no, inkling or inclination to lean otherwise with that. So we'll just stick with that for the sake of the movie. But I mean, this guy wasn't a good guy.
Right.
It's I understand like the trauma of the whole thing, but it's just, it's like and how they ruined the end with him. The MPA ruined it because it was supposed to be very different the way he looked, and it's just the fact that he was still down at the bottom of the lake after like they never found him.
Yeah.
Just that just I like the movie, but it's just that always I'm like, wait a minute, hang on. But no, this does have one of the coolest recaps in the entire franchise, though. Like,
Yeah.
the intro with the recap of leading up to this is really well done, and I like it. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And yeah, I see what you mean about the dad, and I think it's it's definitely like a plot device how they went with the dad, because like RR points out, it was kind of like his redemption arc at the end, the way how he was such a bad dude, and then at the end he kind of like got to save everybody. So yeah. I can see it both ways.
I'll tell you one thing I really did like about this movie, and Draven's got a perfect example of it sitting right there right now.
Yep.
Just the stiffness of way they did some of the stunts.
Yeah.
Like Jason's supposed to be this, like plotting, unstoppable terror of a corpse. So they really capture at that especially when he gets bowled over like that, and it's just like very flat. It's very like stiff.
Yeah.
This part right here you're showing Draven when he fell through the stairs. Those were balsam wood stairs, right? Except for when he hit his head. That was one of the only real stairs, and Kane Hodder smoked his head on that going down because he did that stunt.
Yep.
Oh,
I think
man.
in his documentary they talk about that.
Yeah.
I'll put a background up a little bit more fitting.
Yeah, and then
Nice.
when they set him on fire too, that was another one that was a big deal
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got
because
burned.
of those burns. Yeah, it was like him conquering his fear again. But crazy stuff. And yeah, that clip that Draven has, I was gonna when I retweeted, it was either gonna be the one that I had put up or the other one where it was this scene, except for the lamp, it's the bucket, the paint bucket, and it's from Home Alone. Someone spliced them together and it fit perfectly.
It's really
Yeah.
weird too, because I feel like there's parts in the movie where he's like super lumbering, and then like there's that one scene where he like jumps through the window or whatever, and he's like landing like, and it's like this. I'm like, what?
It
Yeah.
was pretty good.
How
It
he,
was
like,
pretty good for a
yeah.
dead guy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what?
But you know what? It
Trey
was
wanted to
okay.
say good night.
Night.
Oh, hey Trey, good
Oh,
night, buddy.
night,
Night,
Trey.
Trey.
Hey,
Night.
night.
Good night, Ollie. Can I have my earbud?
No, I wasn't done.
What? Yes, you are. You're done.
Oh, hang on, let me get the chip.
Oh man.
Okay.
But I like what they did too, because again, watching the movies back to back, in 6 he was a little more agile as well. I know that was CJ Graham. It wasn't Kane Hodder in 6, but I think that they both did a great job. Playing Jason.
What does Trey have?
Young man, you should never have that big of a chip on your shoulder.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Oh, I love it. That's
All right.
cool, Trey.
Say good night.
Night, everyone.
Good night,
Night,
buddy.
Night,
buddy.
Trey.
Yeah,
Night, buddy.
God, I'm old. I knew exactly what that was as soon as he put it on.
I had a hard time seeing it because I have 2 windows open at the same time, plus I'm using my laptop, which makes it really tiny.
Maybe your spectacles need to be redone.
Yeah, that could be too. But I gotta highlight this comment from Tony. He says, "You guys are forgetting that in the 80s we just left people at the bottom of lakes."
yeah.
Yeah.
80s were a rockin' time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, RR, that's a good point. She used a bad guy to take down another bad guy.
Mhm.
Oh my God, that's cute. Tony says, "Good night, Trey Hotter."
There's also that scene where the guy's severed head is in the potted plant, and she like picks up the potted plant and it like bonks him on the head.
Yes,
I was like, what the hell?
I love that part. That's
That was
great.
funny.
Yeah, it's kind of comical the way that she battles him, you know, because it's obviously it's all with her mind, with her telekinesis, but it looks kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like it's definitely not convincing in my mind.
Yeah, they had to get those Asian guys who did all the wire work back in the 80s and 90s for their movie. That's what they needed to make sure that potted plant would fly properly.
Yep.
You make sure it fry.
Going back for a sec too. You said Trade Hotter. There's a clip of CJ Graham, who played Jason in 6. He's at a convention and he's hand in hand with a little kid who's dressed in the full makeup and everything of Jason. It wasn't just a regular rubber mask. The kid was all decked out, but he was decked out from part 6. So CJ held his hand, walked him all the way over to Kane's table, and like they all had a good laugh and like were amazed by it. That was pretty awesome.
That is awesome. I love that.
It was excellent.
Yeah, here he is. He's super nimble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I love that part.
Yeah, it looked great.
It really
Well,
did.
It's like him busting through the door in part 4.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 3 or 4? I
think it was
4. It's 4 when he busts
Yeah.
into the Jarvis house, and then he's got another scene like that. He smashes through the wall of the diner, and Jason Takes Manhattan. That's right before he picks Ken Kersinger up and just yeets him into the mirror and kills him, who would go on to usurp Kane Hodder as Jason in Freddy vs. Jason, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
no,
Yep.
Kane Hodder is the best Jason. And
Yeah,
I say that as part 6 is my favorite one, and Hodder is just the superior Jason.
I like him as Jason as well.
You know what though? Here's one thing I want to add to that conversation real quick. I think we got Kane Hodder exactly the right time, because I think if they would have brought him in at 6, you wouldn't have seen that development of Jason like we've talked about before. Like throughout the movies, you see him getting bigger, you see him getting stronger.
Yeah.
And I think from 6 into this, that plays very well, because as he's resurrected again, he becomes stronger and bigger. Because every movie that he resurrects is when he gets bigger and stronger. Every single one.
That's true.
There wasn't that much of a difference between 3 and 4, because he never was actually like put down in that movie. That was, in between 3 and 4, he was never finished off. It wasn't until 4 when Tommy finishes him off, and then he resurrects in 6 that he comes back a little bit bigger.
Yep, that's right. And they even made it a point to mention how, like inexplicably he gets stronger each time he comes back.
Yeah.
So yeah, it totally works with Hodder doing this movie, being bigger and stronger. They like wrote it into the story perfectly.
Stature-wise, they're the same size, CJ and him.
Why does it seem like Kane Hodder is bigger?
I think it's just the extra makeup and shit that they had on, because they had to put more on to make it look like the zombified kind of body.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, he was still wearing more, like kind of regular clothes until getting close.
Well, back then, Kane Hodder was a lot wider than he is now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was you're talking.
He was a little bit wider, but
ago.
But CJ he's a big guy. He's always been a big dude. Like when I met him too, I mean, the guy was still very imposing. So I don't know. But
yeah, it could be like
close.
the way they filmed it as well. Like the way they had the camera on him made him seem bigger and stuff too.
Maybe.
What up, Decepticon?
Oh, hey.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Still in first place, yeah, guys. If
Nice.
you have a chance to vote for him, I don't think Decepticon has a link here. If somebody can grab his link throw it in the chat. Go ahead and vote for Decepticon so you can stay in first place. So you can meet Kane Hodder, and then
Great.
we'll send them all our Jason stuff so you can get it signed.
We'll just load him up like a pack mule. That's awesome, dude. Hope you win. Soul Assassin has a link here. This is pretty cool. The making of Friday the 13th game.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Just shame they're closing that.
It's open till December of next year, I think it is.
And RR says that he likes the pacing in this movie. Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
It was easy to watch.
Yeah.
So let's see. So do you guys want to go through some more facts, like facts of the movie before we kind of get into the scenes and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right.
Are you going to talk about the possible scenario of it not being Tina?
Yeah, actually, yeah. You go ahead and lead us with that.
I'll pass that one off to ETEP. He's probably a little bit more in depth on that than I am.
Wait, what are you talking about now?
About how they were supposed to have Carrie.
Oh, yeah. It was a rights thing. They wanted to have Carrie versus Jason, and they couldn't get the rights to it. So it's like, well, we can have another character with the same kind of powers, and ta-da! Here comes Tina. And like Lar Park Lincoln she's a solid actress. She played the role really well. She conveyed the emotion of it. I thought she sold like her powers very well. It wasn't like she was too, and I say this, she wasn't too OP, really. I didn't think she was. I didn't really think she was.
No.
All things considered, for how much they struggled to fight Jason. So I liked that aspect of it. I've never hated that one. Yeah, Tony makes a good point. The ancillary characters in this are some of the most ancillary in the entire series.
Yeah,
They were just fodder.
Oh God, even more so than normal canon fodder for this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they were good ones. I mean, I mentioned it the other day. I said that one kill just kept cracking me up. The one preppy guy who's the chick went skinny dipping. Is come on, follow me, and he's about to, and then Jason gets him with the axe in the face, right? So he has no more nose. He got that giant gash, and throughout the movie, there's like 4 moments where his body is in different places, and there's like that like drops down, and you get jump scares. And I'm like, why does he keep moving this guy's body?
Yeah, that was funny. Like
That was pretty great.
The movie is funny because a lot of the kills, like it feels like this movie was made just to show Jason killing people. Like there wasn't very much to the plot other than, there was Tina and her backstory and whatnot, but I feel like a lot of the characters that were in the movie were there just to be killed. And the acting kind of like shows it.
The one girl even did her makeup and everything just to get killed.
Yeah. All she wanted was some dick.
Yep.
That's all she
That
wanted.
was hilarious. She crawled underneath that piece of wood, goes back to the other side, and then he just busted through and.
I know. I felt kind of bad for her because, like,
Maddie
I don't know.
was her name.
Maddie, yep.
Poor Maddie.
Yeah, like she really tried.
She just wanted that milk. Couldn't get that milk.
Jesus.
I was like, "You ready for some milk?" And she's like, "Nope."
Jason's like, "Stop playing hard to get."
So one of the cool things, I feel like when I was reading about trivia about the movie and stuff, one thing that really like touched my heart a lot was Kane Hodder's mom was there on the set, and the crew made a jacket for her that said Jason's mom.
Mm-hmm.
And after they made that jacket for her, she wore that like all the time. And they lived in Nevada, so it gets hot there. And she even wore that like in the summer, like out to the supermarket. No, like everywhere. She wore the jacket until she died.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
That is
yeah,
so awesome.
it really is.
amazing.
Like, yeah, I loved that. I loved reading that.
There's a song by Ice Nine Kills called "Jason's Mom Has Got It Going On."
Oh, that's cool.
So,
I love that. Soul Assassin's got a link of the new blood kill count. That's awesome.
Mhm. Sweet.
Yeah, and then a funny piece of trivia I was reading was one night when, because Kane Hodder's dressing room was like a quarter of a mile like down a dirt road or something from where they were filming.
Mhm.
And so one time at the end of the day, he was walking back to his trailer, his dressing room or whatever, in full Jason getup, and some dude like walked up to him and he was like, "Hey, you part of the crew?" And Kane didn't answer him because he thought that was a stupid thing to ask, because obviously.
Mhm.
And he just stood there without saying a word. And then the guy, the kid asked again, "Are you with the crew?" And Kane like kind of like lunged at him a little bit and like grunted, and it made the kid like run off, and he like tripped over himself, and he ended up like going to the police station. And the next day, can't remember who it was, but some like the director or someone told Kane like the cops will probably be showing up, but they never did. I thought that was hilarious.
That was.
That's freaking awesome. I could see him doing that. Like if I was in full like regalia like that, like I'm not breaking character.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unless the police show up and draw guns, then it's another story.
Yeah, yeah. Papa Cotton, that he says the Merkins do a lot of horror movie theme songs.
yeah, they do.
Yeah, I've talked about them before. They're
Mhm.
actually quite hilarious. Like they take a lot of these different characters. Like they have one with Jason where his mama said knock you out. Like they do some pretty hilarious stuff.
Yeah.
I want to say their best ones they did was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They did Leatherface with I got friends and I've sawed off their faces or something, something to that nature.
He's a country music star. And I love
It's hilarious.
That's
Those guys
fantastic.
are great.
I'm gonna have to look that up. That's awesome.
Yeah, Tony was mentioning Sleeping Bag Kill. Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that one too, and that's one that they reused in Jason X. And I didn't have a problem with X, but
I didn't either.
I mean, talking about this here box office on this one real quick.
Mhm.
Like most of the box office numbers for Friday the 13th as a series kept going down as the movies went on.
Yeah.
But this one still netted 19.2 with a 2.8 million budget. So
Yeah.
this one still didn't do horrible. And this one got terrible reviews from critics.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it did really well. For diminishing returns, that's a pretty good return on investment.
Yep.
And Time Prophet says he can't comment much on this because he hasn't seen many of the Friday the 13th movies. That's perfectly fine. Thank you for being here. It's nice to see you. Yeah, I would recommend this movie. I think it's fun. It's I would say it's my favorite because it's funny and odd. I wouldn't say it's the best movie in the franchise. Definitely not. But I get a kick out of it. But yeah, I would say check out the whole franchise. It's totally worth it.
So what is your favorite one then?
For me,
Yeah, well, one that you said is you think is the best.
I think 6 is the best.
Hmm.
But this one is my favorite because it's to me it's fun. I love the look of Jason in it. Yeah, I just have a lot of fun with this movie.
Yeah,
How about you guys?
yeah. Well, it's been 6.
Mhm.
And it's funny too, because I never did like the deep dive into like a lot of the background stuff. It's like when I saw the movies, I'm like, oh yeah, no, this was really good. And then I met CJ at one of the conventions because someone commissioned me to do a Jason piece, and I drew it there at the show. And the guy came back and he was like, he wants to meet you. I'm like, oh, who? I didn't even know he was there. I wasn't really paying attention to that stuff. And he goes, oh, Jason. I said, oh, one of the guys who played him? Yeah. So I met him and stuff. Super nice guy. And then I found out later that he's the one who played, Jason in 6. It was one of my favorite Jasons. So it was kind of
Oh, cool.
yeah. Had I known beforehand, I would have probably been a little bit, more excited too. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's like, but yeah, no, nice
That's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, I have a photo
Yeah.
somewhere. I gotta find it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely get that photo. We got to see that. Draven, what's your favorite Friday the 13th?
I'm not even sure if I've seen all of them in their entirety, but I've seen a handful of them.
Okay.
But probably the one where they're at it's not actually Jason, it's what's his name?
Roy.
Roy. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
The
that
ambulance
one.
driver, part 5,
Oh.
A New Beginning.
Yeah, I like that one.
Mhm.
Highest kill count in the franchise.
Just because I
too,
think
right
that's
there.
the first one I ever saw. So
Wait,
Mhm.
the highest kill count in the franchise, and it wasn't Jason who did them?
Mhm.
Damn. He popped up in
Isn't-
the end though, right? Didn't he like walk away or something? Like you said?
No, it was supposed to be leading into Tommy Jarvis being Jason, getting
Yeah.
locked back up at the end of part 5.
'Cause,
He's got the mask on behind the girl.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I sometimes wonder about the ETEP. Now, hear me out on this one. Because of the way Tommy Jarvis was obviously unnerved by the whole Jason scenario, you sure they weren't doing like the mind thing? Like this is the memory of Jason getting into his head and making him go crazy, and this is why he goes back there
To
and
dig
he
him up.
winds up resurrecting him.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I never thought that was like supposed to be him. Yeah, I pretty much took that as like a kind of like a dream sequence, kind of like the end of part 1 with him jumping out of the water. It was kind of like it's a swerve,
Yeah. Swerve, bro, swerve.
But yeah, I thought that was all like it's pretty much all in his head.
I like the kill with the strap against the tree.
All around the tree.
Yeah.
And like I said, the director of 5 was a porn director, and he wanted the 2 actors to like go all the way, and they were like, "We're not comfortable with this."
Yeah.
What a
He was
nut
like, "No,
job.
come on, like actually get in there." And it wasn't Steve Miner. It was shit. Hang on. I know there was one of the couples that hooks up in part 7 were actually dating at one point, and they had broken up before the movie. So like their sex scene was like a little bit extra, like it was kind of funny. Just I can't remember. I read that somewhere. I was like,
it the
that's
blonde?
funny. No,
She was such a bitch.
I thought she was like so hot too. When I was young, I did.
Oh
And,
yeah.
Like later on, I liked Lara Park Lincoln more. The older I got, I'm like, man, I like her more. I don't know. She seemed like she'd age better. I don't know.
Time Prophet. Is it true that Jason only kills teenagers after they've been banking? Boinking. Well, technically yes, and then technically no. So it has to do with them invading his woods is first and foremost. But yes, if they are doing that, that led to what was eventually his demise because they were too busy having sex instead of paying attention to Pamela Voorhees' son, and that's why he drowns. So a little bit of both that and the invading his territory thing.
Which, I mean, that you brought that up. I mean, part 6, he turns back towards all those kids. Like he was going to go back in.
Yeah.
So like I given the opportunity, I think he might have killed those kids too.
Hmm.
because he was definitely going
Yeah.
over there. By the way, I think
Danny.
that blonde in 6 was a lot better than both of them in 7.
Oh
In my
yeah. Megan Garris,
Megan.
the sheriff's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Danny Steinman directed Friday the 13th Part 5. He's the one who directed. His porn was called High Rise. That was from 1973. Yeah.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, R makes a good point. He says the best thing for horror movie franchises is to keep things open to interpretation. The more they try to explain or backfill the story, the more they take away the sense of disbelief. I think that's I think that can be applied to a lot that we see in horror.
I think it's also not just the suspension of disbelief and everything but it also takes away some of the mythos of the character, because you want these characters to be terrifying. It's like, why are they able to do this? How can they do this? And once you get into too much of a deep dive explanation of how they can do everything, I don't know. The Necronomicon and Jason Goes to Hell, you kind of ruin it just a little bit. Like, you could say, like, what they did in that, they could have used the Necronomicon as the way he was brought back, but don't say this is the reason that he has all his powers and all this other deep dive explanation crap. You don't need it. Keep the myth there. Keep the mythos of the character there, and it's going to be a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't see all of those last couple of them. Goes to Hell and Elizabeth.
Because he looks like a Deadite here to me.
Yeah, he does. And we know that the reason why they put the Necronomicon in when he goes to hell is
because we almost had a great movie.
We almost had like the movie of all horror fan dreams is Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Right.
But yeah, he does look like a Deadite there. But honestly, I think I don't think that's where they were going. I think that he's just like rotting. You know, like all his flesh is just rotting off him because he's been in the lake for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the way he looks in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. I like they kept the chain around his neck.
Yeah. Yeah, they have that on the NECA figure that I will be uploading the review on tomorrow.
Nice.
Well, he still has the chain around his neck too when you get into Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we saw that in ETEP's channel. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Oh my God, Time Prophet. Actually looks more like Biden than a Deadite.
Right? in that Part 7 figure, that thing is absolutely the best of all the Jason figures that NECA has done. That thing is like the chef's kiss. There was not a bad thing about that figure.
Yep,
I think they re-released it again.
Well, that's the one that I picked up. It came out like last year or the year before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, like, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, because I saw it in stores again kind of recently.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I can't remember if I have it somewhere. That's why I didn't get it. Because when I worked at the toy companies, I worked on a lot of different things like that. And I know like McFarlane had the big one too. Like they did the 18-inch one. And, there were so many different versions of them. And I had the one from Part 7 when it was a Movie Maniac. So I'm like, I can't remember which version I have.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you think? I don't think we need to really go scene by scene with this one. What do you guys think?
No, we could just kind of jump around.
I mean,
whatever you want order you want to go in.
Yeah, I mean, like we can skim over it. I mean, we did talk about how, well, I mean, the gist of the movie we kind of did touch upon already. It's, as a child, Tina witnessed her parents have. Well, actually, she didn't witness, but she heard her parents fighting. heard her father hit her mother, and she runs out to the dock, and then the father runs after her, and she's like, I hate you, and you hit mom again. And she's in the boat in the lake, and she's like, I wish you were dead. And then you see her use her like brain power to bring the dock down, which ends up killing him. And now this is something I had to ask, because they went to a lake, or they have like this house on the lake. Can he not swim? The father? How did he drown?
They dropped all that stuff on top of
Yeah,
him.
the like gazebo thing fell on top of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got buried.
Okay, so he got like, let's say he got knocked out from the debris and drowned.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah.
because it was kind of bugging me, because I was like,
because it was one of those like covered bridge pier type things.
yeah,
Because she
Yeah.
was swaying back and forth.
Mhm.
He was going, oh no! And then the whole thing collapsed on top of him. He was in the middle of it, and the rest fell on his head.
Mhm.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
See, and I heard this is why, Tone out there in the crowd. That's why Tone does the cooking, because it's like, they're gonna have a fight if they do it the wrong way. So he's like, I'll do the cooking, and that's why Tone's never been murdered by anyone.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm random and stupid tonight. Sorry.
that's all right.
okay.
That's all right.
It
We
worked.
like that. Yeah. So
I think the one thing that was interesting about this movie, and I know there are some people that have a big problem with the telekinesis stuff,
Mhm.
but it actually gives Jason a whole new problem that he's never had to face before. Like what to do
Yeah.
with somebody who could throw things at him or make things hit him without
Mhm.
actually interacting with him.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
thought it was kind of interesting how even Jason, this unstoppable killer, is taken aback by this girl and her powers to control things. So
Yeah.
I think that was kind of cool. A lot of these movies kind of get stagnant with the way they deal with the villain. I mean, you get a few of them that go outside the box, like Freddy Krueger. They had the Dream Warriors, which probably should have been inevitable anyway because it's in the dreams. Should have been somebody figuring out how to fight them. But that was something I think that it did right here. Instead of just like somebody who's physically strong or mentally strong, find somebody who has some kind of extraordinary powers to take on Jason. I thought that was a really cool idea.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the only time we see Jason get kind of tossed around like he did in this one and messed up that bad was Freddy versus Jason, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, I mean, you got to give it to Tina. I mean, she really did. She handed him his ass in a bunch of different ways, electrocuting him, throwing pots at him, burning him alive.
Those
was a
were
lot of
some
good stuff.
strong ass electrical wires that were attached to those fucking overhead lights. Like
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
you didn't get those. You didn't get those at IKEA.
No way.
Those could take out a Carradine.
Oh shit. Oh, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tommy. That it was cool that they kind of introduced something new to the franchise with her telekinesis.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it because you could see in that scene where he was kind of like taken aback by it, with her powers. He was kind of like, "Whoa, this is different."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he was
he
getting
still didn't
his ass
care
beat.
at a certain point too. He just kept going.
Yep. I liked how also in this movie how there's a lot of other horror names in it. Like Tina was a character. Tina had the name Tina. She was a character in I think it was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had someone named Michael in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He was the reason they were going up there was his surprise birthday party.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that
his
was
cousin.
neat.
Nick
Yep.
with his Canadian tuxedo and his dreamy eyes. I was like when I didn't do it for this one, but I did it for part 3. The guy that the main character, the girl, what's it, Christy, was in love with, or her beau, as it were, the guy had to farm. Every time they showed a scene of him, I showed that shirtless thing. He's up throwing hay, and I played Dreamweaver by Gary Wright.
I love that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The Time Prophet. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do Universal Monsters. I'm not sure exactly when, because there's a few. Like, I'll probably dedicate a month to them, like Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and The Mummy, and Bride of Frankenstein. So it'll be those 5 movies, and also I got the NECA figures to go with them as well. So yeah, there'll be like consecutive weeks we'll do Universal Monsters. I'm just not sure when.
Nice.
Yeah, that is something interesting. Yeah, you saying Nightmare on Elm Street, Tina was Nancy's best friend and got dragged up the ceiling with Freddy's claws. Yeah, and she's also the first one killed in that movie. And Tina is the last one standing in this one.
Yeah, that's right. Good point.
Good.
And hello, Stig. Nice to see you. Thank you for dropping by.
What's up?
What up, Steve?
Yeah, Time Prophet, Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's such an awesome creature and a good movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
A female came up with that design.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was kind of famous in Hollywood too. I forgot what her name was, but there's photos of her actually sculpting it and stuff too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, like most of the movie is basically we're just watching Jason take out all the teenagers. That's really most of what this movie really is. It's like just watching Jason do his thing, and like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was done well. Like I think it was RR that mentioned the pacing was on point and everything. So yeah, I was good with that. And yeah, my favorite. So you guys want to talk about favorite kills?
Yeah, we could do that. But hey, don't forget too, we had another fantastic dead guy in the movie. Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, Dr. Cruz, baby.
Yes. Oh, he was such an asshole.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my God.
He basically helped murder Tina's mother.
Yeah.
He held her in front like a shield.
Yeah.
He was like Tina's mom. You and your bangs be Operation Human Shield.
And on top of that, Tina's mom, Tommy, you know who she is, right? Tommy? She's the voice of RC in Transformers.
Really?
Oh, no kidding.
Yep. I thought Tommy would, I guess he walked away for a second.
Time Prophet. I think that would have taken away from the movie.
George.
What did he say? I didn't see it.
He says, "Do you think the movie would have been better if Jason was called George?" George
Damn it,
Voorhees.
Time Prophet.
Yeah.
George Voorhees is less threatening. He sounds more grandfatherly.
Right?
I know.
Did he have a girlfriend named Wheezy? Come on.
Wheezy.
Georgie.
So yeah, so favorite kills. Mine has already been mentioned. It's the sleeping bag kill.
Mm-hmm.
That will always be my favorite. In this movie. How about you guys?
Yuppie, because we got to see his body multiple times, scaring other people, and then it led to other deaths.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Draven, do you have a favorite kill?
Probably the blonde or whatever near the end where he just throws her across the room after he axes her in the face.
That was such a satisfying kill. It was like finally.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah,
it really was.
Her and Dr. Cruz, it was like, I am so glad that just happened.
Yeah. I thought for sure Draven would have said the girl that was naked under the water, the after
Well, that was nice too, but you don't actually see her how she gets killed. She just
Yeah.
gets pulled down.
Well, if you watch it on Max, you see a lot of her body underwater,
Yep.
and you see her naked body.
Yep.
Everyone's gonna go watch it on Max now.
That's where I was
Oh,
watching it.
yeah. That's where I watched it too.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. That was wow.
Yeah, he just went right in there because he disappeared after he axed the guy in the face, and she's
Yeah.
like screaming, and then all of a sudden you just see him in the water there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which
Oh
is
yeah, that
great.
motherfucker. He's using his teleportation power.
Oh,
man.
stop with that.
It's a thing in the game. It's literally in the game.
Well,
I'm
he's
not saying
nimble.
it exists
Like,
in
look
the
how he
movies,
jumped
but
through
yeah,
that
he's nimble.
window. He's nimble. That's
Best-
why he can move super
He
quick.
was like a cat.
Yeah.
The best kill, in my opinion, in that one is what's his name, Benny, the black guy outside the van, because he literally crushed his head down until it was like nothing, and they made a head that was meant to be collapsed all the way down, and they had to cut it out like right when he started to crush his head. But
That was
that
good.
scene is, I believe, on the Blu-ray. They have the VHS. They have the VHS quality, like uncut stuff, but they never put a cut together of all the uncut stuff. It only exists on VHS. They threw all the other prints away. So like that's the only place where you can see the uncut like kill sequences like finished is on a VHS quality. So
No
that's
kidding.
my favorite one. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow. All right. I didn't even know that.
Well, the horn through the girlfriend's eye was great too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
a great
wild.
That was a great sequence. I love it.
Yeah.
He gets outside the van, and 2 seconds later, she's like, "Baby, you almost back yet?" It's like, "Bitch, he just got out. What do you think he did? Went and had another family? He's been gone for 2 seconds.
Well, I mean,
You're gonna die soon. Calm your tits, sweetheart."
I know.
Jeebus.
And then, well, Tommy, do you have a favorite kill scene?
I would say it's the tent scene.
Mhm.
That's where he gets Judy.
Oh, I can't
He
remember.
comes through the tent with
Yeah.
the I think, was it the axe or was it the machete that he cut the damn tent open with now?
Machete.
So he cuts it.
Machete.
He cuts the tent open, and then she tries to crawl inside the sleeping bag, and he
Yep.
grabs the end of the sleeping bag, drags her out to the tree, and starts smacking her up against a tree.
It was like
Yeah, it was just the one swing, which was great, and then like she just falls out of it, and you see her head's all like.
I was saying to Etep in the chat, all he had to do was make a witty dick joke because she wanted some wood. That's all he had to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is true.
I know.
But Tommy,
She's
you're
like-
back. Did you hear me before?
What?
You know who the mother is, right?
Oh,
Tina's mother.
Susan Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The voice of
Yeah.
RC from Transformers.
Yeah, she also did My Little Pony and shit like that too.
Yeah.
She did a lot of voice acting stuff.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, a pretty solid cast.
And then I think it was in the beginning. I can't remember exactly when it was, but there was a couple of the like 30-year-old teenagers having, going at it in the bedroom, and then the guy stops, and I can't remember who they were now, but the guy stops and he's like, "Wait, if this is my uncle's house or my house or whatever, why are we in the camper?" And it's like, a guy would not say that. A guy wouldn't say that in that position.
I mean,
Like,
why are
that's
we in the van? Is what
Why are we in the van? Yeah.
Yep.
Like, that would be a girl thing to do. Like, just interrupt at some weird time and be like, "Wait, why are we in the van?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like, why are we? He's like, why are we sleeping in the van? And she's like,
yeah,
we're not sleeping.
yeah. That was fun. That was like, I don't know, kind of weird to me.
Fun or weird? You just-
It's like funny, like
Oh.
odd.
Yeah. It's true. You just be happy he's getting some.
I know. Yeah, this is like, I felt like, did a woman write this scene?
Well, hear me out. Now, what if the kid has an aversion to vans because there was a white van trying to pick him up when he was younger? So,
Right?
Jeez.
Well, I mean,
why is there a Biden van rolling up next to me?
right? Well, see, there's a lot of people with mental issues. I mean, shit. Look at Kane Hodder. Would you have expected someone like him to be like a germ freak, like a germaphobe?
No.
Because that's what he is. He's like everywhere. That's why he wears those gloves and stuff too. They sit in his house. He's
God!
Everyone, you got to take a shower.
He's that guy. Oh, what's that TV show? The one guy. He was a germaphobe, but he was like really smart, and he was helping these detectives out in the show. Monk. Yes,
Monk,
like Monk.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the crazy OCD.
Yep.
Yeah, that's something else. But I mean, like a guy who's like covered in like all this gunk and shit, like in all these movies, all that crazy makeup and stuff.
Hey, was all that goat disinfected before you put it on? Okay, thanks.
Is that gluten free?
Soul Assassin asked the question, and I'm not sure which one it had it in. Which film had Jason killing the
Rapist.
Part
Yeah.
8. That was Jason Takes Manhattan, the junkie in the alley that was getting ready to inject her. He had injected Rennie. Yeah, that's
right.
Jason kills him and his buddy.
Yeah, I remember that scene now.
See, and that's why I always say that Part 8 is like one of my favorite ones. I hate the weird ending to it because it's more of a play, like a mind play again.
Yeah.
And they've done that throughout this franchise. But, I mean, other than the ending being a little just odd, I think the rest of that movie was absolutely freaking great. I love a lot of the kills that were in there. So some very interesting kills, and then some very basic ones like you get in every single one of these movies. But damn, I mean, the look from this one carries over into this one. Granted, I didn't like how the mask was kind of smushed into his head.
Yeah,
That's probably the one thing about the outfit change I didn't like. But everything else was like ripped directly from this one, and it just felt very much in line with everything that they were doing up to that point.
Outside of The Man Behind the Mask by Alice Cooper for Part 6, Part 8 has one of the best songs in the entire franchise with Darkest Side of the Night. I will live and die by that. That song is freaking incredible. I love that shit. But yeah, there's a lot about the aesthetic to Part 8 outside it's fucking Vancouver. And they only shot one bit, which was in Times Square. And Kane Hodder was standing in Times Square in full Jason makeup. And there was actually people that saw him out there and like, wait, you know, like how cool would that be? Like you're just walking around Times Square in the middle of the fucking night and here's Jason fucking Voorhees.
Right. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Time Prophet, that's something we kind of touched on earlier. We're talking about like every time Jason is resurrected, he becomes more powerful, usually bigger and taller and all that good stuff. That's why during Freddy versus Jason, he's technically bigger, but that is the one movie that doesn't make any sense in the timeline because it has to take place after he goes to hell and before Jason X. So Kane Hodder is playing him again in Jason X, so that he shrinks down at that point, which doesn't make a lot of sense canonically with everything else they did.
that is weird.
Well, I'm not going to let you disparage that movie because I love that movie.
Hey, I like that movie too, but
Yeah, Freddy Jason
that's the
was
one
fun.
thing that doesn't fall in canonically with the rest of the movies.
Yeah.
All
All right.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay.
Same with the Freddy side of that too. It doesn't really fall within the Freddy side of things either.
Referring to what?
As far as canonically, Freddy versus Jason doesn't.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I think it fits more in with the Freddy side than the Jason side. Just because, like, they're doing the whole, like, they stick to the canon of how Freddy is, like, coming through in dreams and stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like,
Well, I mean, because the one where his daughter's in it. Basically, Freddy has killed all the kids or whatever in the thing. Like, it's like a post-apocalyptic kind of
right,
world.
okay.
So it's kind of like,
Which one was that?
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched any Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yeah, well, especially those later ones. It's really been a while.
I think it's Friday Final Nightmare. Yeah, Final Nightmare.
Oh. I saw that one in theaters. I don't think I seen it again afterwards.
See what I did? Every time I show up on the panel, I create a problem. It's not my fault.
No. That's
No,
okay.
it's not a problem.
What problem?
The boxer kill in 8, that was awesome. We covered Jason Takes Manhattan, and I've got a clip of that whole boxer thing, the fight between the boxer and Jason. That was funny. And our answering time prophet about the change in height, he changes his boots.
Yeah, he had Frankenstein boots in Freddy versus Jason.
Yep.
Oh God, R wants to see Freddy versus Pinhead.
No. No more of these damn team ups. Stop it.
I'd be all right with that, honestly.
Oh my God.
The chains.
Let me
and
guess,
shit
you
would
want
be
Tony
awesome.
Khan to book it.
The chains and stuff would be awesome with Pinhead, and then you have the chat, what is it, Chatterbox, and all those guys.
When they do these team ups, it just, I don't know. You can't handle both the characters right.
Let's just have a new
Leviathan.
Let's just have a new monster brawl for all. Have a Norman Bates, the Scream guy, one of the Scream guys. You can have Leatherface, like all mortal people, just like square off against each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have a B where there's a bigger evil, and those two have to team up at the end to fight that bigger evil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine Bubba from Leatherface and say Ash Williams having to go up against Jason.
Yeah. I don't know about that. That would be a tough fight. But I would see, oh man, like, I don't know, because how would Ash get rid of Jason? Like, you really can't.
You have to blow him up.
Yeah, you'd have totally.
There's not too many options other than like if he like chops them up all over, and after like the series, when that's his thing, like he really mastered chopping them up.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of the two.
See, that was the one thing that it didn't make a lot of sense in that movie too. Jason Goes to Hell, because Jason Goes to Hell, he regenerates.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens to him, he's supposed to regenerate. Like, even if there's just a little sliver of him left, he will regenerate over time.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's why they made such a big deal of that mask hitting the water at the end of Jason X. Because, there's some of Jason left on that, and it's going to regenerate it. And they actually continued that in a book series. So the idea that he had to become a worm in that one and crawl down people's throats was just, it's just ridiculous.
I hated that. I
Me too.
remember seeing that in the theater and being so fucking mad.
Well, it was his heart that he ate first. The guy ate first. So I could understand that the heart was in him, so that's a part of him, and it would just regenerate and take over the rest of the person's body.
What?
Yeah.
I'm really glad I didn't watch those other Jason movies.
In him, with him.
I would have liked to have seen Monster Squad, that fake slasher film, Groundhog Day Part 12. I actually would have liked to see like a legit series of that. That would have been interesting, because apparently they kill him with like power tools, or they like chop him up and stuff, and he still comes back. So.
Now I could see I could see Ash winning if he like sent parts of Jason through different like portals, or maybe.
Well, what if each one of those parts he throws through creates a whole new Jason?
Oh my God, that's
Mm.
right, and that is something that Ash would do too.
I know someone who could take him out, no problem. Heisenberg, Walter White. He'll put him in a vat of acid and just disintegrate him entirely.
Yeah, but what about his bones? Like, well, will bones disintegrate? I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
everything
will.
would. Yep.
Yeah, that would be the only way.
You could even metal. I mean, that's it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but doesn't he get melted with the toxic waste at the end of 8?
Yep.
No,
That-
that's
Wow.
that's
No.
just a mind thing.
Yeah.
We were discussing that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that happened in her mind.
Mhm.
Oh.
No, Tree Rock. Jason can't drive a car.
There's not too many handicapped people you see driving.
Tony. Yeah, Tony, I like this idea. Jason and Freddy team up against the deep state.
That's
Yes.
perfect. One gets them physically, the other one gets them in their nightmares. That's great.
Yep.
I want AOC to be the one in the sleeping bag.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know. At this point, they're worse than Freddy.
Yeah,
I
So
mean-
it might not do anything if he's plaguing their nightmares.
Yeah.
They might be into that.
well, you know they're into that.
So
Mhm.
since we were delving into the team up stuff, and like get back into that, like how much better do you think this movie would have did if it was Carrie? If they could have pulled that trigger?
Well, I was reading a little bit of like what they had planned for if this was that Jason versus Carrie movie, and I think it probably would have done maybe a little bit better, but I don't think it would have done much better because that is basically like what we got in this movie, because Carrie was going to be the girl with telekinetic powers.
Mhm.
And that's what they did with Tina.
Yeah, but you're also talking about name recognition because here's a movie of Carrie that it's recognized in
Yeah.
horror.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
and then you know what? And they could have went a step further because if they could have got Carrie, they could have got Christine. So now you would have had Carrie and Christine versus Jason. I'm just saying possibilities.
What is Jason is doing drive-by killings and Christine?
No. Carrie and Christine team up to take on Jason.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
Shit. Yeah, Carrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carrie was Stephen King as well, right?
Hmm.
Yep.
Now, wait. At that point, how many Carrie movies did they make?
Just the one, I think.
Yeah, I think it was just. Oh man, no, wait, were there
Sissy
two?
Spacek?
I'm pretty sure there were two. I thought.
Yeah, I thought there were two.
There's 2 movies, but at that time there was only one, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
But they were both played by the same actress, right?
No, the second
No.
one, Carrie's, what was it? The Revenge or some shit?
The Rage.
The Rage,
The
that's it.
Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause which-
that's a different chick.
Oh, it was. Okay.
Yep.
It was Carrie Russell, wasn't it? Or Carrie? I don't know. Carrie.
I don't know.
It
I think I've only seen the
was.
movie once. I don't even remember it all.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
Did she die?
I don't know.
It was Rachel Lyon or Emily Bergel. Is who
Emily
was it?
Burgle. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm,
that was,
I'm looking at the cast right now.
Yeah.
And
in
was
The
it going to
Rage.
be that? Was it going to be that actress that was going to be in this?
No, this movie was, when did this come out?
Or they never got that far?
I don't think they got that far.
The
I don't
second one I
remember.
think comes out in 2013. I thought it was.
No, 1999 is when Carrie the Rage 2 comes out.
Oh, is it 99? I thought it was
Yeah.
later than that for some reason.
Mhm.
What is
Yeah.
2013? Is that the remake?
That's the remake.
Okay. Yeah, because the
With,
first one came out in
With
76.
Hit Girl, with Chloe, I forget her name. Chloe something.
Oh, okay.
Which was kind of meh.
Yeah. Tony says the movie, yeah, that's basically what I was saying. The movie was still written as if it were Carrie. That's why and then he says that's why the other characters were so ancillary. I think so too. And I think to Tommy's point, that would have worked better if they had actually used Carrie. I think maybe Tommy's right about that. I think maybe with the name recognition, it probably would have done better. Now that I think about it,
that would also make sense that there's a final guy too, as far as like his Carrie, you know, she had the love interest and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
What up,
Oh,
Snow?
yeah.
Hey, Snow Dub, nice to see you.
No.
He says
yeah,
this is my
I-
favorite Friday. Jason was fighting the X-Men before it became popular, and Kane Hodder, yes, absolutely, Kane
Nice.
Hodder is the man.
Oh yeah.
It's one, yeah, he's one of the reasons why this one is my favorite as well.
Nice. Oh, ETEP's got to get going.
Yeah, ETEP's got to run out.
All right,
Yep.
Etep. Well, let's give
Yeah.
you your exit. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Sorry I can't stick around because I really do enjoy this movie, but I'm getting ready to go get ready for Witchboard Wednesday. We are watching the 1986 classic starring Miss Tawny Katane. Yes, that Tawny Katane is in this with a cursed Ouija board and so much more. We'll be watching that here in a few. I'm just finishing up the intro right now, which is not what you're going to expect, but hey, we'll see how that goes. But come on over and join us around 8:35, 8:45. We'll get her all started up here. Thank you for having me, Trina. Appreciate it. And Trina and I just released a review of Hell House, LLC 2, The Abaddon Hotel, and 3, Lake of Fire. And before that, we did the entire Phantasm franchise. So that's
Yes.
available on my channel as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you. And yeah, check out those videos. They were very fun to do. All right.
I'll have links for you guys. I'll send them to you for when you're ready.
Nice. Yeah, and
Have a good night, everybody.
yeah, I'm gonna try and be there for your stream as well tonight.
Okay.
So,
All right. Have a good one.
well,
I'll talk
have
to you
a good
soon.
one.
Oh yeah, man. See you
Later,
in a bit.
ETEP.
Oh, that's cool. Snowdub says that he has an old movie poster of 7 that Kane Hodder signed. Amazing.
Yeah,
That
Snow,
is cool.
Snow gets around. He gets to meet some of these guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, because he's on. So, what Comic-Con is out there by you, Snowdub? I think because that's by Arizona, right? That Comic-Con, it's not Emerald, is it?
But Emerald was, well, they have a couple of places. I mean, Emerald City was, isn't that Seattle?
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
the one that me and ETEP go is in Cincinnati or Indianapolis. And that's where I've been meeting like Pinhead and Freddy and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. You gotta get that done. But yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything. We talked about how it ended, so we've got that.
Now we talk about the good lead in. Like once again, like this one is leading in perfectly from part 6 with him chained underwater, and then this one leads into part 8 perfectly with him being chained underwater again.
Yep.
And the evolution of Jason throughout those movies too. Like all that stuff is done really well in this series, and I think this movie as being the one that's in the middle. It needs to be able to encapsulate all that for people to be able to really dig into the franchise and be able to keep coming back. And I think even though that it was diminishing returns throughout this franchise, I think it was little things like that, like making sure that the character was progressing. You know, Jason progressing throughout these movies and keeping everything like at least semi-canonically tied together so it made sense for the viewer is the reason why people kept coming back in the numbers they did. Because if it was so piss poor and it was really bad diminishing returns, the drop off would have been a lot harder than it was. Now, granted, there was a huge drop off in between 3 and like 4. And and then there was a little pickup in 5, and then it drops down just slightly in the remaining movies. But it doesn't really take a big nosedive until after Manhattan. That's when it really starts like hitting the tank.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like even though it's, they say diminishing returns, I mean, the box office return on this movie, I think it did very well. I mean, for the 7th installment in a franchise,
At
really,
19.2 with a 2.8 million budget, that's a hell of a come up song right there. So
yeah, absolutely.
Usually, when a horror franchise goes to space, that's the final nail in the coffin.
Oh my god, yeah, that's like, okay, we don't have any ideas. All right, this is the one where we're going to space.
That's it.
It's funny too.
I don't care. I like that movie. I like that. You could take part 5.
We'll review it
and shove it, and then you could take part 9 and shove that one as well because both of them sucked.
The guy who least that Groundhog Day fake movie or whatever, I guess I don't know if it was recently or like in the last couple of years or so, came up and said there would have been 17 and the last one is him going to space to kill aliens.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Even Hellraiser went to space.
Hellraiser went to
Oh
space.
geez, yeah. I didn't watch that far into the
Blood
franchise.
Lines.
Time Prophet said Jason should get a hockey stick. In this movie, he doesn't get a hockey stick, but he gets like this tool that's in a shape of a hockey stick. What is that tool?
It was a weed whacker, wasn't it?
No,
Okay.
wait a minute. Wait, no. It was that piece of metal that he had?
Yeah, it's like, and it's basically it's shaped like a hockey stick, but the end of it is a blade, like a curved blade.
The one that when I retweeted on that was some kind of like a buzzsaw weed whacker thing.
No,
I thought you meant the one metal. It was just like a piece of metal that was like the size of your forearm or something.
No,
Like that thing.
no,
The one
this
that
is
he killed her mom with that. Thing?
yes, that one.
Oh yeah, what the hell was that? What did he have there?
Yeah, I don't know what that tool is. I've never seen it before. It's some kind of. It almost looks like a sickle. I mean, what do you call it?
Was it a
Scythe,
branch,
but it's
branch thing, like to get branches in a tree or whatever?
I have no idea
Maybe.
because it almost looks like what is the thing that the Reaper has? It's not a sickle, it's a scythe.
It's a scythe.
Yeah.
The sickle,
it
the sickle is the shorthand one. The scythe
Yep.
is actually the big two-handed long one.
Yep, and he actually does have a sickle in this movie. And like this thing is almost reminds me of a scythe, but it's not a typical looking scythe, but maybe it is like some kind of take on it.
I think it might be one of those tree trimming. Here's an image of a tree trimming thing. It kind of looks similar.
Yeah, wasn't that it?
Yeah, that does that. Yeah, similar to that.
Yeah.
I need one.
But you remember like the thing that Jason is holding is literally looks just like a hockey stick, which I thought was cool. I mean, like that would be cool if like that hockey stick thing was his like normal weapon, but maybe it's too much on the nose with the hockey mask.
Yeah, I mean, with all these movies, not to have at least one kill with one, it's a missed opportunity.
I think so too. That's why I was happy with this movie that they had like something that at least looked like one.
Yeah.
And then RR says that 3 is his personal favorite, even though it's not as good as the first 2. 3 is awesome because that's actually when he gets the hockey mask, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So,
I
He
think
Yeah.
so,
gets he gets from Philly.
yeah, because Tom
Yeah.
Savini, he's the one that gave him like the iconic look and more of a backstory too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So 3 is definitely like, yeah, that's up there. And then the first is obviously important because it's the start of the franchise.
Mhm.
And he's got that bag look, that like that pillowcase look.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's a cool look too, but I think I don't think it would be the same if they kept that on him.
Mhm.
I think when he gets the hockey mask like that, really, I can't imagine Jason with just the potato sack.
Yeah,
The hockey mask, like that, just became so iconic.
it really
Well,
did.
Not only that, but it's more menacing looking.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, because you've had a lot of other characters, a lot of other movies that had like sacks over their head.
Yep.
And one of them in particular was the Elephant Man. When they did that, he had a sack over his head, and can't even say that
Yep.
was exactly menacing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and that movie, the Scarecrow movie. What the heck was the name of that? Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
I don't know. The horror movie where there's a scarecrow that kills people. That one.
It's a guy wearing a potato sack.
Hmm.
But yeah, but like I think he like acts like a scarecrow.
Is it Dark Knight of the Scarecrow?
I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I don't know. I seen a whole bunch of those movies with like the Scarecrow type characters, and I cannot for the life of me remember what they were all called. I know one of them was just called Scarecrows.
Yeah.
This here, Trina?
1 second. Yes, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
It's really like I'm not a big fan of it. I found it kind of boring, but yeah, he's got the sack over his head, just like in the first Jason movie.
Yeah.
It has 3 eyes.
No, one is for like his nose or mouth or whatever.
Yeah,
That's a
there's
shadow. It's a shadow.
Oh, is this-
that makes it look like there's another eye.
It's just
Oh, okay.
bad concept art. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the Scarecrow, but the Scarecrow didn't quite look like just a sack on his head. That was actually like a burlap type sack that was sitting on his head, done in the shape of a scarecrow with straw and everything like that. So
Yeah.
it works for that character. For Jason, it just it doesn't really work.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's a good evolution though of the character at least.
Yeah. It's nice how they transitioned him to the hockey mask.
Yeah, that made
Like-
sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, he starts off with his Deliverance roots, and then he moves into full blown horror icon.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Would
why I
be-
wanted to see a second remake of the Jason, like because I liked that the newer,
You
I-
shut your
I
mouth,
did as
Greg.
well. I did as well.
I did too.
Mhm.
and maybe it's because Sam from Supernatural is in it, but
Son of a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Sammy.
Same. And like,
I'm sorry, people. It's trash. Trash.
You're trash.
I didn't mind it.
yeah, I think I probably wouldn't have been as interested in seeing it if it wasn't Sam Winchester.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I
But
didn't even
again-
realize it was him at first because I wasn't watching the series until later.
Well, I
Oh,
mentioned I mentioned it the other night on Etep's channel, and because like he was just going hell bent on it. I'm like, well, I mean, it's time out. The actor who played Jason did a great job too. You got to agree. He was
Mhm.
definitely menacing and imposing. And he went, yeah, I agree. And I said, and the kills in that movie, there were some fantastic kills. And he went, yeah, you're right. And then we broke down some of them. So it's like you can't just be like, oh, because it's a remake. I hated every aspect of it.
No. That's not why I hate it. I hate it because they actually destroyed the character of Jason. They turned him into Leatherface.
They
That's
didn't
why
turn
I
him
hate
into
it.
Leatherface. We
Yeah,
had
they
that-
did. He doesn't keep prisoners.
He
doesn't
he
keep
took the
prisoners.
one because it reminded him of his mother. And then when
Oh
she
God,
betrayed him,
no, that is
when-
such a weak argument for that.
that's not a
movie.
weak argument, dude.
Oh boy.
It's hold on.
I
Did he
agree with
hold,
Vinny.
wait. Did he kidnap anyone else in that film?
No.
No. He murdered everyone, and when she betrayed him, he went to go kill her.
And
So
why
that's
why
what
would
it-
why would Jason need a lair?
What are you talking about? He's been living.
He
this
had
since
a layer
kid.
in 2.
He wasn't supernatural yet. They basically went like they showed the beginning of the movie is basically would be Friday the 13th Part 1, and then the rest of this movie is basically their version of Part 2 because he's not supernatural yet.
Yep.
But he was supernatural. He was supernatural from the beginning. Once again, that just destroys the whole mythos
whoa,
of
what are you
Jason.
talking about? His mother
No.
was the killer in the first one. and
He,
then-
he was dead in the first one. He was
Hey,
a
Keely
corpse.
Chow. I wanted to get that in there real quick.
His corpse comes up at the bottom of the lake in the end of the first movie. He was already dead.
Mhm.
He drowned. Remember?
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's why the mother's on a killing spree in the beginning. They clarify that shit too.
Hmm.
So how is he a grown man in the second one?
I don't know.
When his mother resurrects him,
How did his mother
somehow
resurrect him? She was dead.
she resurrects him during the movie somehow.
From the grave.
That's what they're saying. That she
That's what they're
resurrects him during that first movie.
Where does it say this?
It doesn't say it until that shitty ass part 8, but that's the general consensus.
See, that's what I'm saying. If we're just watching up to a certain point,
Yeah. It makes sense.
that's
And
why.
you
That's
also
why the
lays,
remake
he also
is-
lays traps too, because like even in this movie you see that he lays traps because he shows people's bodies just falling. Like that's a way to like get people to go where he wants them to go so he can take them out. So it makes sense.
he won all his trophies as a kid, and he was using his skills. That's all.
Yep.
He lived there.
Yeah. He was a
Yeah.
Boy Scout.
And in hindsight, that newer movie actually completely disqualifies Freddy and Jason as even being anything at all.
Oh, it
Because now
does.
he didn't die as a kid, so now he's not even supernatural. So what's
Well, I thought that in the beginning. I think they do say that he died. Didn't they say he died? Well, regardless, it doesn't connect to Freddy Jason because it's a remake. It's its own thing.
right? Like I said, trash.
No. You
Goddamn.
guys sound like my kids arguing.
Listen, if we were like your kids, we'd block each other on Twitter and cry that 1985 script for Child's Play that came out before my buddy, and it did not. My buddy came out first. And
What
we're
are you
gonna talk about
talking
that.
I had a my buddy
We're going to
too
talk
as a
about
kid.
that tomorrow.
The script for Child's Play came out in 1888, Vinny.
Okay, but Soul Assassin asks a very important question.
What's that?
Is there going to be a toy stream tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm hosting that one. Tommy, you can be there.
Yeah, I was actually filming today. Since my
Excellent.
back was feeling better, I delved into it, and yeah, you know what?
Yes.
I got a few figures that were almost pathetic, and then I got one that was just okay. It was not a good week for toy filming, or should I say, it wasn't a good day for it.
Oh man.
Um,
None but happy reviews tomorrow for me.
See, Soul Assassin, we're still friends, and we can have discussions. We're not like egotistical jerk offs on Twitter.
yeah, but they're
I'm
going to
sorry,
fight
Although
in the
I
chat
am-
later.
I am willing to try to be egotistical as much as I can. I am willing to learn.
Well, Soul Assassin just healed the stream with that question. So good job, Soul Assassin. Like they really don't pay you enough. I'm not gonna have this kind of negativity on my stream.
True.
The remake of Friday the 13th was a disaster, just like the Nightmare on Elm Street. Okay, look, I can't have this. I really cannot have
Remake
this.
is
Somebody
better
get
than
that man an
Elm
award.
remake.
He deserves an award.
Fuck outta here. Listen, you can't tell me that the freaking Friday the 13th remake was worse than Jason Goes to Space and all these other dumb things. And Ghost
I
Jason
like
X is
Jason
fucking
X.
good. I'm sorry.
Get out of here. People are crazy.
Oh man, you guys
I'm waiting
are
for the
awesome.
NECA figure.
He turns into Terminator Jason, which is freaking awesome.
That's retarded.
That's
And you tell me,
awesome.
oh yeah, but the lore gets destroyed in the remake. He's become fucking RoboCop. Oh shit.
It's the future, man. I want to see what happens when his mask lands on whatever planet that was, but we'll never see it.
Oh my god! Thank God we'll never see it.
Time Prophet. Tom Prophet thinks that Tommy is not getting paid enough and that he needs more guinea pig food. You guys are awesome.
Cheez-Its and mayo.
Well,
Yeah.
this was a fun review. I'm really, I'm glad we did this. I love Seven. I think it's a fun movie to review, and I'm so happy to have you guys on panel with me. And all you guys in the chat, thank you so much for being here and being a part of the conversation. Like you guys are, I can't even tell you how much like I appreciate you all. You add to the conversation, you make it fun. Like honestly, you guys are awesome. But yeah, next week I'm not exactly sure actually what movie we're gonna do. I have a few that I'm kind of thinking about, but we will definitely be here again for the same time for another movie review next week. So I hope to see you guys here again. But let's let these guys tell you what they got going on. And don't forget to check out ETEP's stream and his Hell House and Phantasm videos, because those are awesome. But Draven, we'll start with you. What you got going on?
Yeah, so after here, I'm going over to ETEPS to watch what is it, Witchboard or whatever.
Yep.
And then after that, we're gonna watch some wrestling. So it should be a good night. They did their show Tuesday, so we'll watch the replay of that. So it looked like, from what I was spoiled of, it looked like it was a decent show. So yeah, and thanks for having me. Always a pleasure talking horror.
Yes, it was a pleasure to have you on.
Even if we don't agree on what we like and what we don't like.
Well,
Yep. Yep.
We could all have opinions, and that's fine.
Yep,
If we agreed on everything, it would be a boring stream.
Tell me
this is
about it.
true.
All right, and
I
now-
mean, I disagree. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing the toy stream. I got a couple figures I got to review as well. Still, I haven't had a chance yet today, but I'll have something for tomorrow for sure. And I will break down tomorrow the toy process. Again, like I said, some egomaniac. He sparked the idea, so we'll cover that tomorrow. So if you want to know how long it takes a figure from concept stage to actually being in stores, how long that time period is, and what's involved in that, we'll be covering it. We'll be breaking it down. It's not that overly complicated, but it definitely takes anywhere from a year up until 3 years, depending on what the item is. If it is a licensed product, if it's got machine kind of parts or extra gimmicks to them. But and we will eviscerate Midnight's vagina even further. So yeah, tune in
Jeez.
tomorrow.
All right. Well, Vinny, it's always a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. I'm glad you could be here,
Oh, yeah,
and I'm glad your internet ended up cooperating. And now, Frankie stopped in. I wanted to say, hey, Frankie, thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I said hi. Now, Tommy, what have you got going on?
It's just a shame that your guinea pig had to be a homicidal maniac like Jack Frost.
Right now, I am making voodoo dolls of every last one of you people that like that Friday the 13th remake, and I am going to be putting pins in them all night long. You sons of bitches. Doing the same thing I always do, doing the toy reviews, the BattleBot stuff, and of course the pigs taking center stage as always. Just trying to work on getting some more videos done. I mean, granted, I did lose a few days right here, not feeling as well as I should have, and it just kind of hurt everything I was doing. And now I'm trying to play catch up, but I'm getting ready for a good toy stream tomorrow. I mean, this is going to be fun. I always love when Vinny gets down to the breakdowns. I mean, this guy's got experience working with a toy company, so he knows. I mean, I know from just being a seller for a good many years in flea markets and other things. I know what a lot of these figures cost and how long it usually takes them to get in market, because one of the things Vinny has mentioned before in private is a lot of these toys, when they're being created, they not only go through proof of concept and all these other things where they make changes and they make improvements, but then they wind up going to toy fairs, sometimes a year or more before the toys ever release. Why? They've got to get all these different consumer retail stores to buy into this product, especially if it's a newer product nobody's ever heard of before. And that's another thing in the step of putting a toy onto the shelf that a lot of people miss because they think they have knowledge when they really have none at all. But yeah, this should be a fun conversation tomorrow, and I'm looking forward, guys. Thank you, everybody that's hung out with us today in the chat, have put your 2 cents in, and just had a good time with us. I mean, because you can't have a good time. What's the point? Remember, never let anybody tell you what you can and can't say, what you should or should not think, because your silence and your compliance gives consent. And we here at the Guinea Pig Collective won't tolerate it. And we will make voodoo dolls of everybody who likes Friday the 13th remake.
Oh my God. See, you know what? I would agree with Tommy on that. If we all hated the original Friday the 13th movies and only liked the remake, then there'd be a valid argument for all that stuff. But we enjoyed all of them pretty much. So, I mean, at least the early ones.
Look at that.
Including X.
Oh.
Yeah, I refuse to watch that movie.
It's good. You should watch it at least once.
I watched the opening. I'm like, no, that's enough.
All right. Well, yeah, Tommy, thank you. I'm so glad you were able to be here tonight. I know you haven't been feeling very well, so I'm so glad you were able to join the stream. And yeah, it was a pleasure to have you all here. You guys on the panel with me, and you guys in the chat. You just made it a very fun night. So thank you all. And I hope you all have a good night, and we'll see you again. Well, hopefully for the toy stream tomorrow, and then again here next week. All right, everybody, have a great night.
Later.
Messenger of
Damn it. Why didn't that work?
I don't know.
Way to go.
Later.